thanks. We're giving thanks to the wonderful supporters of this Thanksgiving breakfast. They're all listed in the program, but I would like to mention a few of our special friends. Our presenting sponsor this morning is Coxwell Benevolent Trust. Our Thanksgiving sponsor is AutoFair. The breakfast meal sponsor is Eastern Bank. Our community partner sponsor is Spectrum Marketing Companies. Stable housing sponsors are the Bishop Charitable Assistance Fund and In Town Manchester. So today, I would like all of you to consider yourselves agents of change. And what I mean by that is that there are two things that we need everyone in the room to be able to do this morning. Are you ready for those two things? I promise they're simple. I know it's early. I know the coffee is just hitting the system. You're just waking up. But you do have a little bit of homework to do today. Two very simple things. As change agents, we need everyone's attention so I can share with what we need to do. We need everyone in the room, to donate today at whatever level is meaningful to you. And don't worry, we'll give you time on that later on this morning to do that. But we also need your help to share what you learned today with your friends and colleagues. We need your help to amplify today's message. In fact, what I'd like for everyone to do is just take a quick moment right now, whip out your phones, which I know are all close by, take a selfie or take a picture of the room, take a photograph of something that shows that you are here, and post it on social media. One of the quickest, easiest ways to spread the word about what we're trying to do today is to jump on social media, where half of you are probably perusing right now anyway. If you look at the screens, you can help share our message on Facebook, on Twitter. Include our handle @FitNH. Take a quick picture. Take a picture of a loved one. Take a picture of the room. Take a picture of yourself. I don't care. Take a picture of me. I'm here. I'm smiling. I showered. Whatever you can do to help spread the word that you are here and that we are working together to make a difference on behalf of those in need is one heck of a great way to start off the morning. I'll give you a second. I see lots of pictures being taken. You're good rule followers. This is a good group. I have a good feeling about today. All right, are we good? Pictures taken? Excellent. Okay. Let's move along. Excellent. Now I'd like to invite a very important and special guest on stage to kick off our festivities with the singing of our national anthem. So let me introduce Isabella, one of Families in Transition New Horizons teenage participants. Isabella, please come up, and if I could invite everyone to please stand for our national anthem. turned 16 years old yesterday. A big win for this young lady. So we will spare her singing to her this early in the morning, but maybe on the count of three we can all just say, happy birthday, Isabella. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Isabella! And now to kick off our program, it is my honor to introduce our Families in Transition New Horizons Board co-chairs, Charlotte Stevens and David Cassidy.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. It's amazing to see so many people here. Thank you for coming. We've got a great program this morning, and we're happy to kick off the holiday season with you. Before we get started, as many of you know, our longtime president, Maureen Beauregard, stepped down to be the president of Easter Seals, New Hampshire. While our board of directors searches for our next new leader, we've appointed an interim leadership team. From left to right on the screen, it should pop up, I think. There we go. Lisa Allard, our Chief Financial Officer, Kathy Kuhn, Chief Strategy Officer, and Stephanie Savard, Chief Operating Officer. Combined, they have 55 years of experience to this organization. They, along with the board and staff, will continue the momentum that has been built over the last 28 years. They are an amazing team. As one of New Hampshire's largest homeless service agencies, we provide food, shelter, and a full spectrum of services and tools for our people to create their own success. We have housing and services in Manchester, Concord, Dover, and Wolfboro. And the need for our services is at a critical high, so your support today is essential for our success. In fact, this year alone, we've provided shelter to 1,318 people. 150 of them were children. We've also prepared nearly 170,000 meals for people right here in Manchester. It truly takes people like you to help us carry out our mission, and we're giving thanks for all that you do. In fact, this past weekend, Hannaford Supermarkets and 96.5 The Mill teamed up for the annual Tons of Turkeys event. Over 27 tons of turkeys and fixings were donated this weekend and given out to 523 families and individuals. In fact, more will be distributed today and again over the Christmas holiday. Thank you, Hannaford Supermarkets and 96.5 The Mill. Today, we're giving an extra special thanks to Hannaford Supermarkets for donating their fresh rescue meats, cheeses, fruits, vegetables, and breads over the last 10 years to our food pantry. In fact, they just hit the $4 million mark in donations. Woo. That's $4 million in groceries that were donated to our pantry for families and individuals who don't have the means to purchase these on their own. Thank you, Hannaford. On that great note, I'm going to pass the microphone over to my co-chair, David Cassidy.
Good morning, everybody. This is my third opportunity to speak at this breakfast, and every year I'm just amazed at the turnout and support and giving that you do to our mission. So Charlotte, thank you. Hannaford Supermarkets, thank you, Sherry, and to all our supporters. Charlotte, it's been my honor over the last year to be the co-chair with you. Your dedication to the organization has been exemplary. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank the rest of the board of directors for all of their work over the past year. Your commitment, passion, and compassion for our mission is outstanding. I'd like to ask all of the board of directors to stand and be recognized at this time. up. If you're a volunteer for New Horizons or FIT, please stand up. If you're a donor for New Horizons or FIT, please stand up. Our mission without any of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. As the leading not-for-profit business in New Hampshire addressing homelessness and hunger, we've made a lot of progress in the last few years since we've merged our two entities. In fact, some of the most recent changes is thanks to the funding provided by the City of Manchester, thank you Mayor Craig, and an anonymous donor that has allowed us to renovate the dormitory area of our New Horizons shelter, which increased our bed capacity from 76 to 108 and upgraded our bathrooms. It's the first renovation we've made in many years, and it was long overdue. With the renovations, we were also able to create a separate and distinct room for what we are calling Safe Recovery Shelter. These rooms have 24 beds and will be reserved for people who are in recovery or participating in substance use treatment program with our organization. The funding that runs this program, thanks to the Department of Health and Human Services Bureau of Drug and Alcohol Services, is coming in the first quarter of 2020, and we are very excited to kick off this new program. In addition, for our Shelter Day program, we hired a recovery support worker who engages with people in our New Horizons shelter in need of substance use support. In fact, since this position started in January of this year, we have worked with 263 people, connecting them with substance use treatment, assessments, and recovery support. And our newest program, our Connections Recovery, includes 5 staff members who provide street outreach and evidence-based case management to assist homeless adults living outside and in shelters to access substance use treatment and address the barriers to successfully obtain housing and sustained recovery. Our food pantry has also had some recent renovations thanks to Bode Equipment Company. So thank you, Scott Fawcett. I hope you're here this morning, and your team at Bode Equipment for your support. We've been able to streamline processes and food distribution flow, and our pantry is open 5 days a week and provides groceries to approximately 900 families each month. One other important piece of information that I'm excited to share, next year we will be rolling out a rebrand of our organization. When we merged New Horizons and Families in Transition, we put the two names together and simply added a hyphen. What we've learned is it's confusing to explain, and it's hard for people to understand what we do and how we do it. With so many different names and logos of each of our different programs in our 4 cities and towns in New Hampshire. Over the last year, we've surveyed many donors, volunteers, program participants, and external stakeholders to gather information, people's opinions, and more. With this data, we've developed what we believe to be a strong brand image, name, logo, website, messaging, and more. We want people to know what we're doing and how we're doing it and the impact that we're making. So friends and supporters, please look out in the second quarter of 2020 for the unveiling of our rebrand. Thank you again for being here this morning, and thank you for all of your support for our mission. Thank you.
Before I introduce the rabbi, I would like to just draw your attention to the placemats that you all have at your table. It is a wonderful reminder of what is being done with your support here in this room. This snapshot represents the time frame from January 1st of this year just through September 30th in terms of the number of meals served, the number of people accessing the pantries, substance use treatment to individuals, and so on. These are the numbers that are being served by your attendance, by your investment emotionally, and of course your donations financially today. So I just wanted to remind you of those numbers and say an early thank you. And with that said, Rabbi Beth Davidson of Temple Adath Yeshurun will have this morning's invocation.
Invite everyone to rise. Oh God, as we gather this morning and experience the joy of community, the gift of diversity, and a vision of harmony, we offer our grateful thanks. Bless our land and all its inhabitants. Prosper us in all our undertakings. Be with those who we have chosen to lead us, that they may strive to establish justice and opportunity for all, and labor to bring peace to the family of nations. Make us more conscious of your gifts to us, and help us to see that no work truly prospers until it brings blessings to others. May our observance of Thanksgiving teach us not to withhold from others a share in the bounty that is ours. Bless the work of our hands, the gifts from our hearts, and endow us with open minds. And together let us say, Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break so that breakfast can be served. And if you haven't already had the opportunity to purchase turkey cake raffle tickets, be sure to flag down one of your volunteers. The last cake we sold last year raised over $3,000. So we have a goal of maybe trying to reach and or beat. This year, the tickets will be sold in $5, $10, and $20 increments. So make sure you get yours. The winner must be present to win. So no early escape artists into the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll see you in just a few minutes. I would like to recognize here towards the front of the room my friends from Anthem, who, if you noticed, aren't just cheerleaders for the cause, but these folks who are dressed up in their Anthem t-shirts are leaving from here and going straight over to New Horizons to spend the day serving meals and handing out turkeys and getting families in need who are ready for their big breakfast. So, Lisa Gertman, congratulations and thank you for your service, exemplary work. Thank you. One of my favorite things about living in New Hampshire is the accessibility and sense of community that we all have. You can feel it here in this room, which is packed full of humanity, people from all different walks of life who are here for a singular cause. But we also have representatives both in Concord and in Washington, and right here in Manchester, whom I consider not just good friends, but wonderful public servants for the cause. In New Hampshire, I feel like we always get it right. We may disagree about approaches to our politics, but I think we can all agree on what our overall goals are and should be. And so it is my honor to be able to introduce a quartet of some of our community and public service servants. And I would like to start by welcoming United States Senator Jean Shaheen.
Continue your work just as successfully as before.
It seems odd not to have Maureen here, but we know you're doing just as good a job, so thank you very much. And thank you to Charlotte and David and to all of the board for the support and the foundation that you provide to this wonderful organization. As you all know, there is a pressing need for your service and your generosity. In New Hampshire and across the country, far too many men, women, and children don't know where their next meal is going to come from and don't know where they're going to lay their head at night. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, nearly 1,500 Granite Staters don't have a place to call home. Now, sadly, as I know many of this room know, we think that number almost certainly underestimates the true extent of homelessness in New Hampshire. 1 in 11 people in New Hampshire, including 1 in 8 children, struggle with hunger. And you all take on these challenges each and every day, challenges that have been often exacerbated by the substance use epidemic. You've made a meaningful and lasting impact on the lives of so many in New Hampshire. And in Washington, I and my colleagues are so proud to be able to support the work that you do through things like the SNAP program and programs that support access to shelter and housing. You know, I was really struck last year when I was at this breakfast by the discussion about not just the services that you provide to feed and shelter people in need, but I was struck by the conversation about the fact that so many people who are served don't have any meaningful relationships in their lives. They don't have people who they know care for them and people who they care about. And that's one of the other gaps that all of you provide to people. And you don't just treat the physical needs that the individuals who you work with have. You also treat the emotional and spiritual needs. And for that, we are so grateful. Now, I want to share a passage that I was reading that really struck me, that reflects the great work that you do. It's from a book of reflections by a woman from New Hampshire named Linda Dugas. And she says, there are many lonely people, even in a crowded room, who need to know they're special to grow and then to bloom. If someone makes the effort, a chain reaction is begun. The kindness which is shown to them will touch on everyone. The lonely old, the lonely young, the lonely rich and poor. To know that someone somewhere cares will help them to endure. Thank you all so much for caring, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it. I've known Jeannie for 25 years. I think I've known Maggie for 20 years, so I appreciate that they started their public service at the ripe young age of 14. Appreciate that you're giving their time. Senator, thank you for that eloquent message, and it is now my high honor to introduce United States Senator Maggie Hassan.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Scott, for the generous introduction, and to my colleagues from Washington and Manchester, to Rabbi Davidson, to David and Charlotte, thank you. I want to give a special shout out to Isabella for a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. And I want to thank all of the advocates and business leaders and religious leaders and volunteers and the leadership and staff of Families in Transition to New Horizons for being here this morning. I have to tell you, looking out at this packed room is really moving. It's something that I have done every year with so many of you for the last several years, not all 26. And every year I am so impressed by and buoyed by how many people are here, not only to make a contribution by being here, but to show in a physical and emotional way that you all stand with the people that New Horizons and Families in Transition are here to help. Thanksgiving is such a special time. It's not just the kickoff to the holiday season, but it's when we come together and celebrate what we are thankful for. And the thing I love about Thanksgiving in particular is it's really just about being with people and connecting and eating. But it's about, more than anything, being together. And to see this whole room of folks, it's a great reminder of how many reasons we have to be thankful here in New Hampshire. Because the Granite State spirit is about stepping up to help. But as ingrained as that spirit is, it's also good to have this moment as we get ready for Thanksgiving, as we get ready for the holidays, to take a step back, to give thanks for what we have, but to contemplate what more we can do. As a friend of mine in the Senate said the other day, he said, you know, my dad always taught me, if you can count your blessings, you can share your blessings. And that seems to me a very good way to be thinking about not only this time of year, but the ways we can share our blessings throughout the year. Thanksgiving is a time to connect, to reflect on the past. In my household, in my Thanksgiving, we always spend a little bit of time toasting the chefs, and then toasting the people who aren't with us any longer, and then the stories start going. And that's the way we reconnect as a family, so we can then think about our future together. This Thanksgiving, I am grateful for this room full of people. I am grateful for all the work that New Horizons and Family in Transition does. We know that when we come together to bring vulnerable people in from the margins and into our communities, that makes all of us stronger, because we know strong individuals build strong communities and a strong state and a strong country. We know regardless of circumstance, everybody in New Hampshire deserves the opportunity to hold a good job and work hard and raise a family and share in our high quality of life. I think a lot about what people who we are helping today will be doing 2 or 3 Thanksgivings from now. And my hope is that they will have a place of their own where they can be welcoming somebody they want to connect to, somebody maybe they've developed a relationship with, they love, into their home for Thanksgiving. I can't think of anything better than that, having a place that you know is yours and you can collect people you love to share thanks with. Family in Transition and New Horizons contributes to that effort. I thank you all for doing the incredibly important work you do to end homelessness and to fight hunger and to fight the substance use crisis that we have in our state. It is great to hear from Charlotte and David the new renovations and the new programming that will allow the organization to recognize this new, relatively new population in need and really move forward in specific ways to serve it. Ultimately, this is about helping more Granite Staters live independently and contribute to our economic and civic life. You do it by respecting, challenging, inspiring, and nurturing individuals who will then pay it forward. So on this Tuesday before Thanksgiving, I am grateful for the work of everyone here. I am grateful for your commitment as Granite Staters to strengthen families, communities, our state, and our country. You help prove that when we care for each other, we all get stronger. And ultimately, it is that strength, it is our connection with each other that will keep us all moving forward together. So thank you so much for being here. Happy Thanksgiving this day and every day. Take care, everybody.
like the waiting room for the back room on a Friday night. I think Chris will feel very much at home on this stage. Our next speaker is a very good friend of mine. He's wicked smart, a good man, a good public servant, Congressman Chris Pappas.
Well, I should just end it right there. Scott, thank you very much for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be with you here today, and I want to thank my colleagues, Mayor Craig, Senator Hassan, Senator Shaheen, for your attendance here today, for your support of this organization. Thank you as well to all the amazing staff, to Stephanie and the team, to all the board members, the volunteers, to the donors, to those who have opened not just their wallets, but their hearts to this organization, which is on the front lines of meeting the need of so many of our community's most pressing challenges. It is making a difference. It is saving lives, and it is bringing our community closer together. So I'm honored to be with you here today on this, the 26th annual Thanksgiving breakfast. The mission of Families in Transition New Horizons is so critical, providing food, shelter, services for individuals and families that enable them to get support, self-sufficiency, and the respect that they deserve. As New Hampshire continues to grapple with this epidemic of addiction, we know the work of Families in Transition and New Horizons is so important as ever in changing the lives of our community members. On any given night, there are hundreds of individuals that receive shelter in places from Manchester to Concord to Dover to Wolfboro. Many more Granite Staters receive meals and support services, and we all know that this need is not abating. The stories and testimonials that we hear from clients of New Horizons and Families in Transitions make clear the challenges and dire circumstances that individuals face. Take Amy, for instance. When her own words was hopeless, with nothing to live for, addicted to drugs and living for a time in her car, she ended up in jail and finally in rehab. But while she was living clean, she wasn't fully in recovery. She needed more assistance in aftercare. She entered Family Willow's Substance Use Treatment Center and was in a group session that same day. And she said, "I never felt I would be living clean, a clean life ever." And Families in Transition New Horizons gave her that chance at building a happy life and a brighter future. That's the story of so many individuals that come into contact with this organization. And that's the thing about New Hampshire. People are seen and heard. And in New Hampshire, we don't give up on those who are struggling, and there are so many ways where we can help, where we can be of use to these folks. Here we roll up our sleeves and get to work when our neighbors need help. We do so enthusiastically and without judgment, because if the tables are turned, and so often they are in life, we want the same kindness and helping hand extended to us. Families in Transition New Horizons embodies that New Hampshire spirit. We're a better, stronger place to live, work, raise a family because of all this great work. And we know Thanksgiving is a time for us to come together, to give thanks, to share our blessings, as the rabbi said this morning. And our community is only as strong as its most vulnerable members. That's why it's so important that we continue this work. So I encourage all of you to go forward today to carry a sense of urgency of the need that exists for food, shelter, and services in Manchester and in communities across this state. Carry it throughout the holidays and into the new year, because there are people in need of services not just during the holiday season, but 12 months out of the year. As we come together here at the second full year after the merger of Families in Transition and New Horizons, I hope we can all recognize the great work you have done, the impact you continue to make, the thousands of lives that are touched all across the state. Thank you for being here. Thank you again for opening your hearts and for all the great work that you do. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to you all.
2 weeks ago today, Joyce Craig got a job performance report. She's developed a reputation as mayor as being someone who is accessible, who is kind, who is trying to tackle and work on the issues that all of us really are talking about here today. So it is my pleasure to congratulate her on her re-election from 2 weeks ago and to welcome to the stage Manchester Mayor Joyce Craig.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here this morning to celebrate the importance of giving and highlighting the critical work that Fit New Horizons does in our community. Homelessness in New Hampshire has grown over the last few years, This increase is a result of a number of factors, including substance misuse, unstable homes, and the lack of affordable housing. Manchester, being the largest city in the state, has the largest homeless population of any municipality. And we are so fortunate to have a partner in Fit New Horizons. They're focused on understanding the needs of homelessness in Manchester, and they provide shelter for 138 individuals per night. That's by far the most shelter that any shelter provides throughout the state. Together, we've been able to work, as you heard, to make changes at the shelter, to better support the needs of our community, such as opening the shelter during the day for additional programming, making much-needed renovations, and working with the state to have a presence at the shelter so individuals are enrolled in critical programs such as Medicaid. All of this is done with the ultimate goal of breaking the cycle of homelessness so people can lead healthy and fulfilling lives. It's important to note that the work of Fit New Horizons is positively impacting homelessness across our state. And together, we're advocating for additional services and more emergency beds throughout the state to address the statewide uptick in homelessness. As a community and as a state, we have a shared responsibility to help our most vulnerable residents, which means to make the most meaningful statewide progress, we must continue to support organizations such as Fit New Horizons today and throughout the year. So there's still much work that needs to be done, but that's where you come in. It's so uplifting to see our community come together to support individuals and families in need. Our city is strong because so many of you in this room have offered your service, your energy, and your ideas. Today, we need your financial support. So when Scott takes the stage in a few minutes, let's overwhelm him with pledges for Fit New Horizons. I want to thank you for being here, thank you for your support, and I wish you all a happy holiday.
So for 26 years, we've gathered in this room on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving to celebrate, to give thanks, and to give back. And during that time frame, we have had a staid and consistent leadership. This year, we have a fresh face, and as you saw from before, a trio of fresh faces who now assume the mantle of control of Fit and of New Horizons. We're very excited. So in some ways, this is a little bit of a debutante ball for my friend Stephanie. It is my honor and my pleasure to introduce Stephanie Savard, the Chief Operating Officer and member of the interim leadership team of Families in Transition, New Horizons.
Good morning. You know, a wise friend said to me, this is a really big group to speak to. Wear red lipstick. And I said, I don't wear lipstick. But I put red lipstick on this morning because she said I had to make sure that people in the back saw me. So hopefully you all do. And she was right, it's a really big room. So, you know, I'm in awe of the support and the accolades of the work of our organization. And I want to give thanks to every single speaker and attendee today. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do shelter, feed, house, and provide services to all the individuals who come through our doors every single day. You've heard from previous speakers about our work, our building improvements, and the new programming. And I'd like to talk to you about the depth and the breadth of our services, the staff, and the great partnerships we have with other providers. As a merged entity, we now have a full spectrum of housing, shelter, food service programs, clinical and supportive services to offer people who struggle with homelessness, food insecurity, and substance misuse. This is imperative because we're experiencing unprecedented numbers in our communities across the state. Our supportive services help break the cycle of homelessness to lead healthy and successful lives. And because no two people are alike, we work hard to make sure that our services are tailored to each individual. Our case managers, our licensed clinicians, they use evidence-based practices to help bring folks to whatever outcome they need to obtain housing. And the continuum of care that we provide has enabled us to enhance our programming and increase the number of access points to meet individuals where they're at. So what I mean is, we have recovery support workers, we have child and family treatment teams that are in the shelters and in our supportive service housing, so that folks can, in that moment, say, I'd like support with substance misuse, I want to work on recovery, and we're there in the shelter saying we can help you do that. We're going to help you access and get an assessment at our Manchester-based Substance Use Treatment Center to figure out what type of treatment that you need to start that road of recovery. I'd also like to take a moment and give thanks to our staff across the entire agency. Did you know that we have almost 170 staff? And Senator Jean, you're right. Relationships is important, and it's those individuals, those staff, who make those relationships for people who often walk in very isolated. Some of those staff are in the room today. We're lucky to have such a dedicated and smart group of people who truly care about the well-being of each participant that walks in the door. It's our staff, along with all of you, who carry out the mission on a daily basis. I'd be remiss, however, if I didn't also give thanks to many of our community partner organizations. Despite the depth of our own services, we know there are areas of need that our community partners can address with their expertise. To name just a few, we give thanks to the Catholic Medical Center's Healthcare for the Homeless. They're in the room somewhere here. They offer on-site medical care in 3 of our facilities to make sure that folks have access to health care right on site. The Mental Health Center of Greater Manchester, who's co-housed with us in the Manchester Recovery and Treatment Center on Wilson Street, and the collaborative efforts of the State Department of Health and Human Services and the City of Manchester to bring innovative and responsive practices to the growing needs in our community. These partnerships, along with countless others, too many to name, enhance our participants' support systems and increase their positive outcomes. I now want you to hear from several of our very brave participants who can speak far better about what happens at Families in Transition New Horizons in their lives on their journey through homelessness. Thank you.
Without this place, I don't think I could last under a bridge. But that's pretty much where it looked like I was going if I didn't come here. Like a lot of people, I had 2 different jobs, and then I got hit by a car. So I couldn't work, I lost my apartment in 5 years. But I tell you, when your body breaks and you can't do what you normally do, could end up like me. I've met some really nice people. Amanda, she helps me arrange the rides. I have a track phone that I have to pay minutes for. Call for a ride, that's at least 12 minutes. And she helps me with that. I've been here over 4 months. Oh, I'm thankful for a place to stay.
Overall, it was probably almost 4.5 years is how long I've been on the streets. Pretty scary situation, I'll tell you. Not very pleasant out there. Approached in shelter, they took me in. Anything that I was missing, they helped me put it right back into place. And I just took step by step by step by step, and eventually found a job, 8 months ago.
Working with Jeremy, he always was doing what he needed to do and always following through with recommendations that I gave him. And he just recently moved into Douglas Street a couple of weeks ago. When
I got this place, the very first day I sat back and I started crying because I was just like 5 or 6 months before. I couldn't imagine to be in such a beautiful place. A lot of us here have the same medical and mental issues, and we're all supporting each other. So if one of us is going through this, we can say, hey, listen, why don't we try that? And hey, maybe we can go over here and do this. It's wonderful. I mean, it's such a relief, honestly.
Living here has given me a whole new start of life. I was pregnant with my son, he's now 4, and I was in a homeless shelter in Concord. And so I called and applied for housing. I had a lot of mental health issues where I felt useless and hopeless and that nothing was gonna happen, nothing was gonna change. And today, I feel wonderful. I feel like a whole new person to not have to be so scared anymore and being able to be that intact family and be able to grow. I'm thankful for every individual I've come in contact with through the program, how they've helped me in their own different ways.
If I was to look back 4 years ago, we were unstable. Any moment we could have been asked to leave. With the support of FIT in a matter of 3 years, I've been able to pay my bills on time. I've held down a job for 3 years. Not only has my family been put back together, we've been able to stay in one place, my home. I've stayed in a home for 3 years. To have that stability, a miracle, is the best way that I can explain it. FIT made a commitment to me and my children that I walk through and I do the right things and they support us. Last week, I got blessed with signing my Section 8 papers, which means you have completed the program with FIT and you've met all the requirements that they required out of you. And that means that you get to move forward. The overwhelming feeling has been lifted off. It is a joyful freedom. No burdens.
I am thankful for the opportunity, first and foremost, of being able to be in a program like this.
I could tell FIT 100 times over that I'm so grateful and so thankful, but it's not even enough. They've made it possible for me to just be a normal mom and do normal things.
You never know where you're gonna be. Look where I am. I'm blessed to be here. And I thank FIT for everything.
I'm just so thankful to have a place to stay, and I'm thankful I can call it home.
If I can help change anybody else's struggles, I would, because people did it for me. Because some people don't have family out there and friends that can help them. And it wasn't until recently that I was in that exact same spot. And here I am today.
Those brave storytellers are here in this room. Would you please stand and be recognized? Who's feeling inspired right now? I know I certainly am. There are ways to act on that feeling. We live right now in prosperous times. Most statistics tell us so. Their stories, the stories we see on the news, the challenges we know we face in our community show that there remains a gap of need that must be filled. The good news is, in relative prosperous times, we have more resources to be able to fill that need, and we can do it right now. I'll remind you that our goal today was to raise the words and raise our hearts to this cause and let others know what we're doing and remind them, especially in this week, that this is a really good time to give thanks, to step back and recognize the relative prosperity we all enjoy, but the opportunity we have to pay it forward. And for you, that opportunity is right now. The amount doesn't matter. The give is what matters. There are so many in this room. We all know a little bit from all adds up to a lot for these folks who rely on our help. At your table right now is a manila envelope. Inside that envelope are pens and small little white envelopes that allow you to fill out and to give at any level at which you are comfortable. I would respectfully ask that you give to be slightly uncomfortable as you leave this room today. I will ask at the end, because I will not look for the hand to go in the air for a specific recognition at a specific level. I'm going to give you some examples of how these funds can and will be used over the course of the next year. What I will do at the end is ask all of those who have filled out a white envelope to please stand and be recognized by all. My hope is that everybody stands. Let me give you a couple of examples of how this money can be used. At the $5,000 level, for those of you in the business community and those of you blessed in life that could give at that level, we could provide one night of shelter to 50 people. Families in Transitions New Horizons gives shelter at its 3 emergency shelters to over 150 people a night every year. Think about that. A donation of $5,000 provides one night of shelter for those 50 people. At $2,500, we can provide 2 weeks' worth of substance use and mental health treatment to someone affected by substance misuse. Think about the power of that donation. I know every one of us in the room understands and knows the struggles with substance misuse. This year alone, we provided use treatment to 384 people. At the $1,000 level, that could provide an apartment for an entire month to a family experiencing homelessness. $1,000, 1 month of shelter to a family in need. Providing that level of stability goes way beyond a dollar amount. Hunger relief. At $500, that donation can provide 20 boxes of groceries in the food pantry to a family or individual who is food insecure. Many people with limited income struggle with purchasing groceries. In fact, this year alone, 9,500 people have accessed our food pantry. $500 provides 20 boxes of groceries. A $250 donation can provide 100 nutritious meals in our soup kitchen. 100 mouths to feed with $250. With our partners and friends like Hannaford, we're able to stretch those dollars incredibly thin and make sure that tummies are full. There's no need for anyone to go hungry. We prepare over 800 meals every day, 365 days a year. $250 covers 100 meals. $50, close it out at this level, $50 to provide families with diapers, with wipes, food, and more for toddlers and infants in our program. And can you imagine having to ration the number of diapers or food that you feed your child? That's $50. And of course, if you'd like to give a different amount, that's great. Whatever you're comfortable doing, any amount that's significant to you would be appreciated by families in transition and New Horizons. I know I'm preaching to the choir. You're already here, which is why I asked you to take that picture and send out the word to the people that you're close to that you're here, and that you're inviting those folks in your world to do the same thing. As a moment of closing, please be sure to return your donation remit envelopes to your table captain, so that would be the yellow envelope, or Lauren Bombardier, whose arm is in the air in the very back of the room. She can also collect them. If you'd like to donate with a credit card today in person, you can see our staff member in the lobby as we exit. I've seen people writing and furiously donating, and I love it. If I could take a moment of pause and ask everyone to stand who's just filled out a white envelope, I would just like to personally thank you. Come on. Come on, stand up, stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This makes a difference. It makes a difference. Thank you very much. All right, so before we go, before I send you off into that holiday chaos of getting your yams, hopefully you've already bought your turkey or have one ordered. If you don't, I'm not really sure where you're going to find one at this point. Best of luck. We have a giveaway. It is time to select the turkey cake raffle winner. And I'd like to bring Isabella back up on stage because she's going to be my lovely assistant to draw the ticket. Hang on, let me get the bag. Done well. There are a ton of tickets in this bag. So Isabella's going to make a new best friend.
170-130.
We're not close.
170130. Who's got it? We're all looking. Got it over here? Over here. Congratulations. So before I send you out, let me once again thank all of you for being here. Quick housekeeping announcement. Thank you to Triolo's Bakery for the beautiful turkey cake, and congratulations to our raffle winner over in the corner. For all the speakers and participants in our Giving Thanks video, I'd like to ask you to join me on stage as soon as we say goodbye for a final photo. And in closing, a special thanks to the Thanksgiving Breakfast Task Force and all the volunteers who helped put this day together. And on behalf of Families in Transition, New Horizons, thank you for being here, for donating, and helping carry our inspiring messages forward through the holiday season. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.